Okay, looking at the OCR sample, level 1 sample paper, non-calculator paper, 30 minutes. So it's important you time yourself, because time is going to be a problem, more so with the next paper than this paper, but it's good practice to time yourself. Obviously, I'm wanting you to use, oh, it says use black ink here, OCR. Blue or black, I prefer blue, you know that. And then when you come to mark it, if you mark it and do your corrections in red or green, that's helpful. Draw a triangle that has one angle larger than 90 degrees. 90 degrees is a right angle. So 90 degrees looks like this. One angle, triangle bigger. That's what I've drawn there. One mark. Calculate 125.50 divided by 5. So I'm using the bus stop method, whatever. 5 into 12 goes 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 12 take away 10 is 2. Bring down the 2. Bring down the 5. 5 into 25 goes 5. And we've got a 0.5. 5's into 5 goes 1. Now, I've just seen this answer here, and it's saying the answer is 25.10, which now I'm wondering if I got it wrong. Because technically it said 525.50, so I should have had an extra 0 there, which means I should have had an extra 0 there, which means I would have had an extra 0 there. Okay, I'm just going to have a think about that. And round your answers to the nearest whole number. So if you think about the term whole number is a complete number, whole, no parts to it, no fractional parts, if you want to remember it that way. If I ask you how old you are, you're naturally going to say, well, I'm going to say I'm 46. I don't say I'm 46 3/4. Okay, so a whole number is a complete. I've just looked at the mark scheme for that question to A, 25.10. My understanding of the mark scheme is if you haven't got that 0, you don't get the mark. I think that's an example of very strict marking. I'm not sure. Well, I do understand the mark scheme. Basically, if that 0 was in brackets, you wouldn't need it. The fact it's not in curved brackets means you do need it. So I still think you be careful on that one. I'm surprised. Okay. This next question is confusing, number 3. The points scored by 100 people in a quiz are shown in 2 different ways on in a table and a bar chart. So in the table they're going from 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24. But on the bar chart they're going from 10 to 13, 14 to 17. Okay, so we can't see the raw data. It's been put in the table there, and somebody else has put it in the table differently and then made this second bar chart. So to understand really what's going on here, you can see that I've put the number on top of each bar. So that's 4, that's 16, 32, 30, 15 and 3. And then I wrote it all out. Okay, so for 10 to 13 there's 4. 14 to 17, yes, so you can see that. Okay. Sometimes this is just what I do. When I look at the question, realise what's going on, I'm thinking, right, I want to understand this question before I start thinking about the answers, because sometimes the questions confuse me, so I just want to understand what's going on before I even start reading the questions. Okay, use the table and bar chart to answer these questions. How many people scored 14? Okay, in the first table, 10 to 14, 9 people scored. 9 people in that group. In the second table, 10 to 13, 4 people. That means people that scored 14 is a difference between this 9 and this 4. Okay. So, yeah, people that scored, there was 4 people that were in this group In this group, you can see it's just got the 13 extra, and can you see there you've got 9 take away 4. So it must be 5 people that scored 14. So this is a tricky, I mean, it's that's tricky to understand all that a lot, and it's only worth 1 mark. Which is why it's good that you do as many practice papers as possible, because you really get to think about the way that you can word different questions. What is the maximum range of the points scored by these people? Okay, what's the maximum range of points scored by these? Right, so what's, I think it's saying, what's the maximum range? So we've got the word range, maximum range. What we need to work out is what's the maximum score, the minimum score. Okay, again, look at these class boundaries. Here, in the 30 to 34 group, we had 3 people. But then if we look at, in the third, off the bar chart, here, the maximum score must have been 33. Okay, max is 33. Let's look, what do we know about the minimum? Well, the minimum is 10. So therefore, the range, 33 take away 10 is 23. Okay. Okay. So, reason, nobody scored 34. That was the reason. No one scored 34. Okay, because you can see there. Again, that's very hard question thinking. The good thing is we're looking at different people's papers, OCR, AQA. The most important papers for us is the City and Guilds, and I haven't given you them because I'm hoping I'll see you in June. Total number of points scored by the whole group is 2150. Ben says the mean score is 20.5. Use multiplication to check Ben. Okay, so it's telling me what to do there. So how many people is there? There's 100. So if I times that one by 100, I'm just thinking times in by 100, decimal place moves 2 places. 5. Oh, use multiplication, check Ben's answer. Ah, so it's saying there, Ben says the mean score. So no, he's wrong. I mean, there it's not actually said, is Ben correct? Oh, Ben is wrong. Okay. So I'm thinking the mean score was 21.5. Okay. So I've put the answers on this one. You can see that their explanation for 3B was no one scored 34, and we got 23. and they're saying Ben is wrong, total is not that. Okay. One day at a theme park, I'm glad we've gone on to a different question. One day at a theme park, 4 out of 5 visitors go on all the rides, 5% don't go on any of the rides. Which is bigger? Oh, that one's obviously bigger. Okay, what do I want to do? It's non-calculator paper. So I'm thinking, oh, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 4 out of 5 is the same as 8 out of 10, which is the same as 80 out of 100, which is 80%. So that's obviously bigger. Okay, it says there are 1,200 visitors to the theme park on this day. Calculate the number of visitors that go on all the rides. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 0, 0 times by 4 over 5. Now this one, although I've worked out 80%, I would always go back to the original question and use the original numbers, just in case I've done something wrong. So 4 over 5, and we've not got a calculator. And I'm thinking, oh, I've just looked at my answers. What I've just done is I've done, this one is the same as 8 over 10. Didn't have to do this. And then I could just cross that 0 with that 0. I don't know if that helps me. Didn't have to do that. 8. Do I know my 8 times tables? Yes. 80, 96. 960. Okay, like I said, I didn't have to do that. I could have done 5s into that. 5s into 12 goes 2, remainder 1, remainder 2. And then done 24, 2, 4, 0 times 4. 4 times 0 is 0, that's a 6, carry a 1. 2 times 4 is 960. So 2 different ways of doing it there. Whatever. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, times 1, 2, 0, 0 by 4. Oh, that was meant to be an 8. And then divide the 4, 8, 0, 0 by 5. I'm going to divide like that because I could have wrote it there. So 5s into 4 don't go. 5s into that is nearly 10, so it must be 9. Remainder 3. 45. 45 times 9. 5 times 9 is 45. Right. 5 into that goes 6. 0. Okay. 3 different ways of just tackling the same problem. Doesn't really matter. We've got the right answer. Calculate the number of visitors that don't go on any of ours. So that's our 5%. So again, I always write my percent like this. So we've got 1,200 times 5%. So I think I've told you, I always write my percentage like that, because then I can cancel those 2 with those 2, and it's 60. I suppose, should we have another way of doing it? We could say 10% of 1,200 is 120. So therefore 5% is half of 120, which is 60. Okay, so whichever way you like. I think in schools they try and teach you 10% and 5%. I think that's the way I should be teaching you. I suppose for lots of times I haven't had to teach that method, so I'm more comfortable doing a different method. Whichever method is fine. A journey starts at 11:23 a.m. and takes 75 minutes. What time does the journey end? Okay, I like my bouncy ball method with time. So I've got this time here, and I'm going to add an hour onto it to make it 12:23. I'll say here I'm adding 1 hour. 1 hour is obviously 60 minutes, so if I just take away 60 from that one, I see that I've got 18 minutes remaining. Okay, I'm just going to add 10 minutes on. You shouldn't write 10 m. M means meters, so that takes us to 12:33. And then if I just add 8 more minutes on there, takes us to 12:43. I'm going to leave that as my answer. Okay, now looking at the marking scheme, it says 12. Oh, I did mean a 1 there. Yeah, so I'm having 12:41 as my answer, meaning I forgot to put the PM on. It does say AM there, so I know that it's PM, so it's in the afternoon. I've just studied the marking scheme, and I don't know what those square brackets mean there. I know the curved bracket means you don't need it, but I don't know what the square brackets means. I'm thinking this is a 2-mark question. I've lost 1 mark for not putting my PM on there. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I need to check. Doesn't matter. Let's be mean. Let's mark yourself down for it. A loan of £387.25 needs repaying with 35% interest. Whoa. Calculate an estimate of the total amount. So the marking scheme says that if you don't estimate, you lose. You don't get the mark. It's a 3-mark question. Yeah, if you don't estimate, you get it wrong. This is a non-calculator paper, so you're going to want to estimate. So let's make it 40%. £400 is what I meant. Okay, so I would do 400, and again, with 35%, I write like this. So then I can cancel that with that naught, that one with that one. So now I need 4 times 35. In my on my answer sheet, I did 35 plus 35 is 70, and then 70 plus 70 equals 140. Calculate the total amount to be repaid. So I've got to add this 140 on. Yeah, so 400 plus 140 is 540. Okay, and that's my answer. And I've told you you should put the pound sign on. You don't need the pound sign on because the pound sign is given there. Here in the marking scheme, it's saying you don't need the pound sign, but if the pound sign is there, it should be. If something is in the brackets, if you put it in, it has to be there. If you were being European and wrote £540 pound sign in the wrong place, you could lose a mark for that. Okay, another way of doing 4 times 35 is 35 times 4. 4 times 5 is 20, carry 2. 12 times 4 is 120, so 140. I don't know if that was quicker and easier. Okay, yay! So You've got the marking scheme. Mark your own work, mark it harshly if you like. Write your score here. Mark for question 2 because I had 25.1, which I could have had 25.10. I don't think so, but I'll mark myself down 1 mark. PM. So if I'm really mean, I got 20, 18 out of 20. What's useful is if you turn your score into a percentage. Okay, so I got 90%. That's okay. You should be aiming for 70 or more percent. And then what I'm thinking is powerful is that you write down on this front page which question you got wrong. So I should write PM on there, and I could write the other question I'm saying that I got wrong was 125.50 divided by 5. So I could write and then say it was a 0 that I missed there. I could write a bit more. I could say, yeah, instead of writing that, I could say 12:41, and then I did write PM in the first time. Oh well, haha. I don't normally, so I think I would have missed that off. So if I write that on the front, then I'm saying it was the PM bit I missed, that 0 because of that 0 that I missed. Just a little note on the front, just saying, oh, we could write frequency table here because that was a question that was really hard. Um, we might have lost, you might have lost 3 marks because that was a strange question. Okay, bye bye.